Here.
Larson.
Here.
O'Brien Berglund. Absent. Thomas.
Here.
Whalen. Here. Zappa.
Here.
All right. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting of February 3.
I would move that we approve the board meeting minutes from Tuesday, March 3rd.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or corrections? Guess not. Okay. With none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Any comments from the floor? Jim, how are you? Please go to the podium and introduce yourself, since none of us know who you are.
I'm Jim Biko, 404 6th Street North. Just kind of coming to see what's being done with your water problem next door, other than ending up in my yard.
Was that addressed?
I
know the last time you raised that issue, it was supposed to be raised.
I was just talking to Mark, and
Well, it was supposed to be addressed at Public Works. Has it been addressed?
yeah, Mark said that he was going to put it on the Public Works agenda
Okay.
to be brought up. So,
Okay.
but that's what I'm here for. So,
Then it will be on the agenda for Public
see
Works.
what, so I don't have any more lakes, rivers, or whatever. So,
I'm assuming it's got to be better at least.
no.
Huh? No?
No. You should seen the water I had 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So, because all the water ran down my driveway into my yard, and I had to channel it across to get to the water drain on 6th Street. So,
Okay. Oh, see what we can do about that. Thank you.
actually, it's the water that goes down towards
For the streets.
St. Croix and goes down. It's got to go down, all the way down, and go clear down by the filling station. Is where it gets dumped into the storms.
Okay. Okay. Good. Kevin, were you going to address the floodplain ordinance, or can you? Okay. Oh, well, I just wasn't sure. Okay. All right. Moving on to item 4 on the agenda. Let's see. I would make a motion that we open the public hearing with respect to the proposed amendment to Municipal Code Chapter 42, which is the floodplain zoning ordinance. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
All right. We are in public hearing section on this. As a practical matter, the floodplain zoning ordinance is actually driven by FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Organization. Essentially, it says that every municipality has to adopt a particular type of floodplain ordinance. Every so often, each state then reviews its own floodplain area, the measurements associated with it, where is it, where should it not be, that kind of stuff. And the municipality essentially adopts the definitions of the floodplain ordinance. As a municipality, you could elect not to do that, but if you did that, anyone who lived within the floodplain, they would not be able to renew their homeowner's insurance, nor would they be able to get it. Okay? Now, I read through a fair amount of the material here. My reaction at the end of the day is this is really nothing more than a monstrous administrative change. It is not a substantive change at all. Now, does that mean the floodplain hasn't changed? No, I don't think the floodplain has changed much, if at all, for the village of North Hudson. I'm sure some municipalities might have significant changes, but we don't. The land hasn't changed, the river hasn't changed, or I should say the lake hasn't changed, nor has the river. So the actual area affected and the terms and conditions associated with that are not being changed. All kinds of definitions and descriptions of the land in the floodplain, for whatever reason, they've changed the language of what used to be referred to as X is now referred to as Y. So when we change our ordinance, what we're really doing is simply adopting their new language for the same thing that was in effect before. Does anyone interpret it any differently than that? Kevin?
The biggest thing is I guess the biggest thing with the new floodplain ordinance is FEMA's gone through and done a revision on the whole St. Croix County, and there's some new panel maps per se that go along with the model ordinance, and basically it's just adopting the new firm maps. And a lot of them, they haven't changed per se the floodplain boundary. The only thing they've really done is taken some of the aerial photography and overlaid that with the boundary per se. So it actually makes it a little bit easier to make a determination on which house is in or which house is out. So.
The changes that we see on this ordinance number 02-2009, who or what agency made those changes?
For the
one that we have in front of us that we're going to approve tonight.
I have not.
Would you like me to respond? I
Yes.
actually handled this.
Okay.
Back in 2004, we were required to adopt the DNR's model ordinance, and thankfully we did. We got all the big work done then, and so now when they came back with these changes, we only had to amend what we currently have. And so this did come from the DNR.
Okay.
And I have sent this back to our district representative, and he has revised it and said that it looks good. So.
But
we
was it the
catch.
DNR that actually changed the wording and, okay.
What happened was, instead of using a particular, like the North American vertical datum, now they use, or no, that's what they use now. They used to use the National Geodetic vertical datum as their elevation.
Sure.
Where they got that information from. And then Kevin is correct, there is 5 maps versus we used to have 1. And so we needed to take out that flood elevation language that adopted the map revision letter of April 6, 1987, and put in the new map numbers from all 5 of those maps.
Okay. Anyone have any other questions that they'd like to address to either Gloria or to Kevin with respect to the floodplain?
I think it's appropriate that Jim's here tonight when we're talking about the floodplain. You like it?
Okay. Thanks, Kevin. If there are no other questions, then we can just make a motion to close the public hearing and then just move on to adopting the ordinance.
Yeah, I think so. I would move that we, or
Unless anyone else has got any other questions on it.
President needs to do, I would move that we close the open, or the public hearing.
Okay. Motion's been made to close. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Public hearing is closed.
And I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance 02-2009, amending Chapter 42 floodplain zoning.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that too.
Any other comments or questions from any members of the board? No? Okay,
Seems like
if
this
not, then
has no-
this is an adoption of an ordinance, so it requires a roll call vote, so we'll start. On this end, if you're in favor, just indicate by saying yes. Sandra?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Larry, yes. George?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Plan Commission recommendations. There's no one here from the Plan Commission. Both of the items that were scheduled for discussion from the Plan Commission were discussion only, no actions. With nobody here, then unless anyone wants to add or thinks we need to cover that for some reason, if not, we'll just dispense with that and just move on. Okay? Move on to Finance Committee. Finance Committee is recommending approval of the bills as our first item. We'll be authorizing the village administrator to solicit some loans for some items that were planned for this year. We're going to be approving our annual agreement with our building inspector and then adopting the village fee schedule. So we'll start with the first one. George, I think you
I'll move we approve the December 2008 non-recurring claims of $4,289.42 and the February 2009 non-recurring claims of $15,933.56 for a total of non-recurring claims $22,222.98.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any questions on the claims? Okay, we'll do another roll call vote real quick. Sandra?
Yes.
Yes.
Or yes? George?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next item, authorization to solicit loans. What we're doing is authorizing the Gloria to solicit loans in the total amount of $50,000. We're combining a number of purchases, a vehicle for the police department, security windows for the building, MVS, mobile video systems for PS, and the server for PD, as well as a snowplow replacement. Ours current one broke during the last snowplow. I mean, literally broke. It would cost about $3,000 or thereabouts, possibly more, to fix it. You can buy a brand new one for $4,400. So it was the Finance Committee's recommendation to buy the new one, and it is totally interchangeable. Should we get rid of even the current truck, you could still use it on that. So it's a question there of does it make sense to repair something which you can replace for slightly more? And obviously, it was the consensus of the Finance Committee that it didn't make any sense to put $3,000 into repairing something which you'd want to have for the next 10 to 15 years as well. So let's see.
Want me to read it?
Yeah, I was going to say, George, since you had the motion in finance, why don't you just do this one too?
I move that the village administrator be authorized to immediately solicit bids from local and state lending institutions for a loan to fund the Village Hall Service Window Project, Police Department new squad car, mobile video system, and Police Department server purchases, and a new snowplow for a total amount not to exceed $50,000 to be repaid in 5 years. The loan will incorporate provisions for 2 loan payments per year, with the first payment due in 2010 and no prepayment penalties.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
The reason that 50,000 was selected, for those who were reading the board packet and you saw $42,800, that was without the snowplow. I also upped it a little bit further for a nice round number. And when Gloria solicits the loan bids, that does not mean we have to spend the 50,000, it just means it's there.
Okay, good point. Okay. Any questions on any of those?
Did we finally decide that we are definitely going to put in the security windows, or is there still?
We had left it with the administrator to review it with the staff. If they still concurred that they wanted it in, then we would proceed.
Okay.
And they have concurred.
And this loan is in an up to amount, so if that is determined, we don't need them.
Right.
Okay. Cool. That looks good.
Okay, since this is just a authorization to solicit, we can just do a regular vote. So all in favor, unless there's any other questions. If not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We need to review and approve the building inspector's agreement. If you look at the material that is in your board book, there are really two things we're approving tonight. The building inspector's agreement is identical to what it was last year. We just took all of the fees related to that, took it out, and we put that into the fee schedule. Okay? So other than that, the fee schedule, which has other things in it, obviously, besides building inspector's fees, we'll deal with that next. But for now, we're simply approving Brian Wirt, who would continue to be our building inspector for calendar 2009. So, let's see. Did we have a motion from finance on that? We did. No, we did not. So the chair would move that the village adopt or approve the building inspector and zoning administrator agreement for calendar 2009 with Brian Wirt as provided for in the attached. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Any questions on it?
You want to talk, Larry, a little bit about the importance of building inspection and having a building inspector?
Certainly from primary reason why we have building codes and building inspectors is to protect residents, to prevent inappropriate construction, repair, replacement for whether it's structural issues or whether it's electrical or plumbing or whatever the case might be. To the extent that we did not have that, there might also be unusual liability that might fall back to the village. So it certainly is appropriate and useful. Certainly from a cost perspective, although permits are not cheap by any test, ours are certainly lower, I would say, than many of the municipalities around us. And we don't make any money on them. So those are about the only editorial comments I have with respect to the building inspector.
Yeah, I do.
Any questions regarding the agreement? As I mentioned, it's essentially identical to last year. All right, if not, all in favor of approving the building inspector agreement, signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
This is a contract? Do we need a roll call?
Do I need a roll call?
We're expending funds.
Yeah, we should have. Okay, we'll do a roll call. Sandra?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Larry, yes. George?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, George. All right, and then the next one is Resolution 209-01, adopting the village fee schedule. In your books, you have the Schedule A as, no, you have the village fee schedule, and attached to that are Schedule A and Schedule B. Fee schedule essentially covers all of the fees, and then it makes reference to Schedule A. Schedule A is for building permit or building-related kinds of issues. Schedule C is for other water connection-related stuff. The fee schedule, for all intents and purposes, is pretty similar. We're trying to clean up a lot of the stuff in there and make things cleaner. As far as making it clearer, I shouldn't say cleaner, but clearer. There have been some changes, one for conditional use permit, going from 125 to 150, but other than that, the other changes are really pretty de minimis. Maybe adding a $2 fee here or $1 to something, but there's only about 5 or 6 that are even getting modified to that amount. So the amount of change is literally zilch. So the chair would make a motion to approve Resolution 209-01, adopting the 2009 village fee schedule. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions regarding the fee schedule itself? Anything, Gloria, that you wanted to point out? I feel like we need to.
Nope, I really feel it is basically what we had before, different format, and just much easier to update.
Okay.
And the highlighting signifies,
A change. The changes are very minimal, or there may be something that has to be addressed yet. And this will be a work in progress type of document until we get through everything.
You'll remember what we did last year, is we took the fee schedule out of the code book. I'm just gonna set it out here as a separate freestanding item. That way, to the extent that we need to change it, we don't have to literally change the whole code book. So administratively, it's a lot easier, plus we don't have to have the expense of changing the code book, which costs about $1,000 to change the word in there. Okay. All right, since that's a resolution, any other questions on that? If not, then we'll do a roll call vote for this as well. Sandra?
yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Larry, yes. George?
Yes.
Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, Public Works. We already talked about in finance the snowplow, the fact that the snowplow broke in the last snow. So rather than repairing it at a cost that would be almost equal to the new one, we're replacing it. Mark, do we need to talk about item C at all?
Sandra.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Item C.
Yeah, it's a fairly simple issue, but I'm probably going to complicate it.
Good.
And Kevin offered to help me out on this. Basically, we had a larger letter of credit on file for DCCI, Derek. Over time, it's been reduced. They request another reduction. The bottom line is Public Work recommends the reduction of the irrevocable letter of credit to be $240,000, which is 192,000 times the 125% contingency. And also, we're tying into that the amount for the parks, the 33.5, and Gloria has asked me to request that the reduction in the letter be contingent upon the payment of the 33.5 for the parks. Did that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of numbers tied in there.
And the primary reason for the reduction is the fact that we were holding approximately $700,000 under a letter of credit. Development is not going to proceed at the rate that was originally planned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's rather onerous for us to continue requiring the developer to hold that amount of money in escrow, so to speak. So we're dropping it down to a reasonable number consistent with what's planned. Okay.
Being held liable for the undeveloped area, because the 2.15 included for a full Yeah, the 2.15 incorporated the full build-out of the full plant. And the intention was, you know, at that time, that the entire development was gonna be built within 5 years. Well, obviously, with the economic housing slowdown, that's gonna be out to an undetermined date at this stage. And, you know, the banks nowadays are real leery about, you know, funding those kinds of dollars for a, you know, development that they don't know when it's actually gonna be completed, so. So basically, the only thing that we feel that Derek should be liable to protect the village would be for the park improvements, which has been slated to be built this year. And that was one of the exhibits, part of the original development agreement. That's where the 150 came about. And then there's roughly about 75,000 on the east side for a sewer and water extension that's currently being built. So that's in a nutshell where everything's coming from.
That at the time that, you know, presumably sometime in 2010 or 2011, when things start to recover.
Yep.
At that time, when the developer decides he wants to come back and restart,
Yep.
then we'll obviously come back and reinstitute some other type of letter of credit.
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
I didn't want somebody to think we were forgiving him the letter of credit to the extent that particular piece of property gets developed over in the future years. It's not.
All right, we need a motion on that.
I think we do.
I move that we approve the reduction in the current letter of credit amount to Derek to $240,000, contingent upon the payment of the $33,500 prepayment for the miscellaneous park playground equipment. I cover that all.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other questions for Sandra or Mark or Kevin? All right. If not, then we'll vote on it. We have to do a roll call on this one as well. Sandra?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Larry, yes. George?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else from Public Works? Okay. Public Safety?
I was not able to attend the public safety meeting on February 12th. And I see that Colleen is not here. Falls to Mark if you have anything you would like to share regarding the meeting. And the chief is here to also talk about the two purchase recommendations.
No, it was a routine meeting that covered what few points we had rather quickly.
Okay. Chief, would you like to talk about the two purchases that are, if you weren't here, I would, but since you're here.
I think that's an onus for me not to be here next time so that you can. Basically, the two items that are listed on the agenda are both grant-funded pieces of equipment. The card grant is the underage alcohol grant that North Hudson, as well as all municipalities in St. Croix County, as well as the Sheriff's Department, or all the municipality police departments, as well as the Sheriff's Department, participate in, which requires some compliance checks, but it also brings back a large amount of dollars to police departments to fund overtime for the Cops and Shops program or for party patrols. It also, not only with overtime, it also up to 50% of the grant can be used to purchase equipment that would assist police departments in I guess, working those types of patrols or taking care of underage access to alcohol. And so the items that we have here have been approved by the state Department of Transportation and Bureau of Transportation Safety, and they have authorized that these funds are available to North Hudson. The entire coalition, which is the St. Croix Underage Drinking Coalition, has brought back to St. Croix County from the state and I don't have the number right in front of me, I'll round it off to $93,000 for St. Croix County municipalities and the Sheriff's Department. Again, a lot of that money can be used for equipment, but a majority of it goes towards the overtime for officers to be able to conduct those types of activities. So the first one being handheld radar units. Those are, there are requests for 2 of those under the grant. Again, they are funded, or they will be reimbursed at 100% of the cost of those items.
If you'd like, I'll read the motion.
Yes.
I move we approve the purchase of 2 Custom Signals Falcon HR handheld radar units at a cost not to exceed $1,704, $1,680 to be reimbursed by the 2009 card grant.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
And I guess I'll digress just so that my statements are not untrue. There is a small amount of that funding that from the time that we got the original grant, which was in 2008 when we applied for it, there was a slight increase in the shipping costs by the vendor. So just as to make sure that was clear.
Okay.
And that was at $24 that was
Correct.
in
The
in the
$24.
issue statement. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that? All right, since that's technically, I guess it's the spending, since we front the money and then we get it right back, we'll do a roll call on that. Sandra?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Larry, yes. George?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Okay. The next item?
The next item is a request to purchase preliminary breath testing tubes. Basically, in past years, in the past 5 years, we have equipped all of our squads through the CARD grant with preliminary breath test units, the little units that we use for underage alcohol compliance, as well as OMBWI type arrests, and we have subsequently run out of tubes now, and so that is also another item that's approved by the grant for purchase to, again, work on the underage compliance and whatnot.
I'll move that we approve the purchase of 3,000 PBT tubes at a cost not to exceed $660 to be reimbursed by the 2009 card grant.
Is there a second?
Second. Is there a shelf life on these things, Mark?
There is not. They don't expire,
Oh, cool.
which I'm kind of hoping they will last 5 years. That's why that the 3,000 seems like quite a large amount, but with over 5 squads, and unfortunately we do have underage drinking problems in this area, so hopefully it'll last a long time.
Cool.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, if not, we'll do a roll call vote. If you're in favor, signify by saying yes. Sandra?
Yes.
Yes.
Larry, yes. George?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Mark, do you have
Thank
anything
you.
else?
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay, public welfare.
Public welfare hasn't met for a while, and with the fact that I believe we have 2 board meetings in March, and our meeting will be the 18th, it's going to be hard to get anything to the board this month, too. So, with that, look for a very aggressive meeting come April. We do have 2 items, bulky item drop-off. We have scheduled tentatively for April 25th, 2009, and with Mark Zappa's approval, we'll use the same location up by Muds and Suds, right behind the Village Car Wash for that.
Provide that date one more time.
April 25th, which is a Saturday. It will be from 8 o'clock in the morning until noon. And then this spring's curbside waste pickup date will be May 4th. Again, I want to say this absolutely clearly. It will be picked up either on the 4th, 5th, or the 6th, but all curbside waste and yard refuge must be placed on your curb by 6 a.m. Monday, May 4th. And we will put out a village announcement on the phone system,
Good.
letting people know. And I did want to really seriously say thanks. I was absolutely impressed with the participation in people sending in their information for the village. It really shows the continuity and participation on residents, and I was blown away. I mean, just incredible. Now I just have to get it all sorted out and in order.
You have to do the data entry.
Yeah, right. But that's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
For the bulky item drop-off on April 25th, is there a fee for that?
Gloria, I don't believe so.
There's a list of items that there is no fee, but you can still bring electronic items for a fee.
Okay.
So that
Mostly
list.
electronic items? They have a fee?
Right, white goods.
But like stoves, refrigerators, washers, dryers, you can drop those off?
Those would cost you.
They would.
But like mattresses, chairs, couches, of items. And they usually do provide us with a list that we can have here at the
I will
office.
make sure I get that. It's basically home furnishings and things like that, furniture, mattresses.
Okay.
So we will post that list up in the village hall. And at this point, that's pretty much all I have.
Okay. Well, Colleen is out, she is at training for her ongoing nursing credentials, so she's not here tonight. So we'll be not hearing from the park board, unless someone has something that was supposed to be communicated. Oops, go ahead.
One of the things that we didn't bring up during the public safety portion was that there was a request by Colleen that an agenda item be brought before public safety related to the skate park. Instead of creating more of a moving discussion about the skate park, I've offered, because there was some concern with relation to the public safety side of the skate park, I will be attending the meeting on Monday as a representative of public safety to discuss any feedback that I've gotten from other chiefs throughout the state and any of our local concerns related to the skate park. So I guess without Colleen being here, just to let you know that I will be there on Monday night. If there are any concerns by the residents related to the public safety side or police department side, I'll try to answer them as best I can. Again, with not having one here, it's going to be somewhat taking a look at whether or not we can answer some of those questions without having something in place. But we'll see what we can get taken care of and what answers I can go and research from there.
Okay. So there will be a public, our park board meeting on Monday? Coming Monday? Okay. Okay. Just wanted to repeat that. All right. Moving on to new business. Our next board meeting will be March 31st. Same time, 7 o'clock. And that's actually the April meeting, which is being moved back because of the elections on the first Tuesday in April. And so I'd also like to mention that, in April, there are no committee meetings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I have to wait till May.
Because you have the election, then you have the reorg meetings, and so normally there are not committee meetings in the month of April. Okay.
Jim, what about March?
Yes, we still meet in March.
Okay. You continue to meet in March, yes. Okay. I didn't see that. And then one last thing. The League of Wisconsin Municipalities is providing us with a DVD, which is related to insurance. And if each of you check out that DVD, take it home and watch it, we get $520 back from the league. Is it from the league? Or
Yep.
from the insurance company? From the league? Okay. Good.
Each board member?
No, for the village.
Oh.
Or, yes, each board member needs to watch it.
Nice try, Jim. I'll watch it twice if that was the case.
I was going to say we could have a party. I'll open up our basement.
Redistricting.
What's that?
You might want to mention the redistricting.
Oh,
Back there too,
Gloria was asking me if I wanted to talk about the redistricting.
just briefly.
The county is obviously in the process of redistricting associated with the recent referendum issue that changed the number of county supervisors from 31 down to 19. That then requires that the county redistrict down to 19, divisions within the county. They'll be using the 2010 census data to do that, and then in 2 years, they got to come back and redistrict based on when the new census data becomes available. Then they've got to go back and potentially reset those boundaries. So now, as I was looking through it, I was obviously trying to find, where the village was and where the village is projected to be. And although the identifying code might change, I didn't really see us change it. I couldn't see it on the map because the map just wasn't clear enough.
It is hard to read on this because it's not color-coded.
Do we
but,
care?
Instead of having 2 county supervisors, we would have 1. But I have a feeling that after the 2010, because it is based on population, that we're going to end up going back to 2 again.
Really?
That's, when I read that, that's what I interpreted out of it.
I kind of read it as meaning if you're about it, what was the number they were cutting on, around 3,500, 3,400?
33, yeah.
3,300?
And we are 37 now, but that was based on, the 33 was based on the 2000 census.
Yeah.
So when we do 2010, does 400 make that, is that a breaking point? I don't know.
I guess they call that progress.
Well, it seems to me that what they're doing is the first pass-through will be because we reduce the number of county board members from 31 to 19, so that's going to be a major change.
That is.
And then what will happen after the census is just tweaking.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Because the village used to be split right in half. We had District 23 and 24.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Daryl Staniford was one of the reps, and John Borat. Yep.
Okay. I don't have anything else on the agenda. Gloria, did you have anything? No? If not, Chair would entertain a motion.
I'll move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I was going to say, nobody seconds, Mark, we could be here for a while. All right. Meeting is hereby adjourned.